12:30 on a Thursday night, and you are tuned into Rip Radio Network, which can mean one and only thing, that this is a show.
It's ChipChat.
It's ChipChat. I'm Chip. That's Fish.
I'm here again.
Together we're Fish and Chip.
Yeah.
Which is funny still.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Fish has big news in the social media world.
Yeah. I actually, just for you guys, joined Twitter.
He joined the Twitter.
Joined the Twitter verse, or whatever they call it.
Twitterverse, yes.
The Twitter sphere.
Yes, Twitter sphere is also acceptable. So you'll have to learn that there are segments of Twitter.
I must admit, I did have a Twitter account. I don't know if I ever actually tweeted.
Oh, you just followed.
But yeah, what I normally would do is if like something funny happened in a sporting event or something like that, I would go to Twitter, hashtag that just to read funny comments.
Gotcha.
Or if Trump does something stupid,
right?
Just just to entertain me.
I mean, that's
follow
what the
hashtag
Twitter is for.
That's pretty much all it's for, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So now you have one. So what you should tell the people what it is.
I'm now at the Amazing Mr. Fish.
Yes.
That's FISCH, just to throw you all off.
Yes. That's how you know it's him.
But
which was amazingly not taken, too. I'm very impressed.
Amazing Mr. Fish without the C was, but it worked out because I'm with the C. So
you're with your fish with a C.
I believe last time I checked, I still have 0 followers.
So you've got one at least.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I think actually maybe 2. I think I followed you with mine and the show.
Awesome. So I'm now followed by Chip and the show.
Yeah, that's good. That's twice as many as you had.
I'm on my way.
That's a big win. Okay, so with that being said, all y'all need to go follow Fish on the Twitters.
Amazing Mr. Fish.
Yeah, at amazing Mr. Fish.
That's correct.
All one word.
Amazing Mr. Fish.
Yeah.
Correct.
And do you know that there's regular Twitter and then there's Black Twitter?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to
get even more funny than regular Twitter.
Black Twitter is much funnier.
For sure.
Yeah. And more efficient too. I would add Black Twitter will handle your business faster than you can even finish reading the news article about it. It's amazing. Okay, so this week we have a special guest. He is an extra special guest. He's going to be calling us from his headquarters. His name is Rock. His actual name is Rock, and he's calling us from Sweetwater.com, which is a fabulous website that we buy all our stuff from. So that's real handy. He's gonna call in and tell us about the online retail sector right in time for the holiday shopping. And then we're gonna have all kinds of other regular amazing stuff. We'll have list time, rundown, Chip's World, and Real Victim, Dude Seriously, and of course Florida or Nah, which is where we tell you a story and you have to tell whether it did in fact happen in Florida or not, which is harder than you might think. So, okay, and then, never know what else might happen tonight.
I'm really excited about tonight's
stuff going on. Yeah, we wrote it all 5 minutes ago, so we'll see how that does. Okay, you got your word?
Ooh.
You got to come up with a word.
Okay.
I've got a word.
All right.
Okay.
All
You
right.
ready?
Yeah.
So sit back, grab some...
Sound bites.
Oh, it's Heinz ketchup time. That didn't work as well as I'd hoped. You're listening to the best show, the only show, ChipChat on Ripped Radio Network. Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Fish.
Hello.
That's backwards. We should make you do the bring back from the thing. So,
All right.
Next
after the
time
next break.
you have to bring us back so you can say I'm Fish with Chip.
Got it.
That's much funnier. Okay, if you're watching on the video, you'll see that I am festooned with the hat of the season.
You're very festive over here.
On top of my standard issue Michigan hat.
Especially for a Jew.
Yep, that's true. I believe in Christmas in the same way that most Americans believe in Christmas, which is about shopping for sales and getting tools at Home Depot and whatever else. Not totally sure what else Christmas is about. I've been told there's a fight about Starbucks cups.
Well, I did go to like 18 years worth of Catholic school, but I'm not even going to get into it.
No. Well, I learned from Fox News that there is, in fact, a war on Christmas.
There is.
Which is being prosecuted so successfully that the Jewish kid is sitting here wearing Santa hat to do his radio show.
Yep, flying right in the face of that argument.
Yeah, it's Christmas, the only holiday that lasts longer than there are months in the year. It seems like if there was, in fact, a war on Christmas, they are losing this war.
Have been for quite some time.
Yeah, for quite some time. I noticed Christmas decorations showed up in my local Home Depot last December for this year.
I did notice in Target the other day there is like a little end cap that has some Hanukkah stuff.
Yeah, well, Hanukkah's over already. Hanukkah was early
This was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Hanukkah was early this year.
They have like half the store devoted to Christmas.
Yeah, right. And, well, we get a little section. That's all we need.
Like an end cap.
Just an end cap. Hey, how much stuff can you really buy? What do you need? You need some candles, a dreidel, and some socks to give to your uncle. That's it. It's all you need. Hanukkah is a little tiny holiday in the Jewish calendar.
It's not on par with Christmas.
Not even close. It's like it's a half holiday, and but because it happens around the same time, and the poor American Jewish kids like me feel left out, we've turned it into a big holiday. Just enough so that we can, compete or whatever. But, of course, we can't compete with Christmas because, of the ubiquity of Christmas.
Is it a strict rule? It's only one gift a day?
No, and you don't usually even get a whole gift a day.
Okay, that's just a myth. That's a Catholic myth.
Yeah, you just get, Hanukkah, first night you probably get something nice, and then, second night you get, little trinkets or whatever.
Okay, that's my other question. I was wondering if the gifts actually sort of increased.
No, not usually. I mean, not in my experience. You got a few things, and if your parents are smart, they sort of spread it out over the 8 days.
Spread the good shit out.
Yeah. But then also because my birthday is frequently in the middle of Hanukkah, I would often parlay my Hanukkah present and birthday present. If I wanted something big, I'd be like, give me this combined.
Right, gotcha.
I only ever got one big thing a year.
Got you.
I think the biggest Hanukkah present we ever got was a Super Nintendo.
Okay.
It was a big deal.
I'm probably a little older than you, so mine was just the regular.
Well, I got that for my birthday.
Okay.
When I was 7, and then a few years later, the Super NES came out, and we got that, and that changed our lives, my brother and I.
Sure did.
All of a sudden, we had all these extra buttons. We didn't know what to do with, and this weird kind of Mario that had a map. Anyway, okay. So now it's time for list time. Now that we've wasted a bunch of time, this is it's almost unbelievable. But the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, was hauled up to the Hill to testify for God knows what reason, for something in front of Congress on Tuesday. And instead of Congress asking serious questions, they did what they usually do when they have a tech CEO testifying in front of them. They asked them how to fix their phones and stuff. They're like, well, how come when I Google this, it doesn't bring me exactly the thing I wanted at the first try? Or like, can you explain to me why my Alexa doesn't also tell me what time it is when I ask for the YouTubes or whatever?
I saw one guy, if I walk to the other side of the room, does Google know that?
Yeah, and yes, of course Google knows that, but we're not here to talk about that. But what they did also ask him is, how come when you Google search on images the word idiot, the first thing on the list is pictures of Donald Trump?
Yeah, and clearly something's up here because before he was president, he was only like the third or fourth result.
Right. Yeah, so the Republican members of the House committee here are sure that this is Google being a leftist, operator or whatever. and that's why this is happening. But in fact, what happened was that the CEO had to explain how Google works. He said, quote, "We provide search today for any time you type in a keyword. We have gone out and stored copies of billions of pages in our index, and we take the keyword and match it against the pages and rank them based on over 200 signals, things like relevance, freshness, popularity, how other people are using it, and based on that, at any given time, we try to find the best results for that query." Essentially, the reason that Donald Trump's picture comes up when you Google the word idiot is because that's what the most people are looking for when they look up the word idiot. So if they Google idiot and they scroll down and click on the picture of Trump, that just moved it up the chain a little bit. And the next person that does it, and the next person that does it, and a million people do it, it just up the chain.
This is just analytics here, people.
It's no conspiracy. It's literally just math. But here's the really great part about this. In asking this question, they made it be that, like, it used to be that Trump was the number one search for the word idiot, but then there was a bunch of other things that came after him. Now he's like the first 50 things on there. And that's all there is anybody can talk about. You have to scroll down like through 3 pages of Google image search to get anything on the word idiot that isn't Donald Trump.
I mean, he certainly has made his mark in that world over the past 2 years, you have to say.
Idiots? Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
in the idiot world. I mean, he's really established himself. Yeah,
yes. He is president of the idiots or idiot president?
Idiot in chief.
Yeah, there you go. So we have here compiled us a list, and this is I'm not making this up.
So these are real now.
These are real.
Okay.
Of other things that show up when you Google the word idiot. But I had to scroll for a long way to find ones that weren't Donald Trump. It's just that many.
And it looks like even when you finally did find one that was Donald Trump, wasn't too far from the tree.
Wasn't too far, no. So number one, go ahead.
Was Don Jr. and Eric Trump.
Yes,
so.
that was like the third thing on the list. Okay, number 2 on the list was an image of a rock, which I later found out is taken from a book cover that had something to do with like idiots, and it had the image of dumb as a rock or whatever.
And for a long time, that probably would have been the first search
would have been
result. I mean, probably for
probably
like almost all of history.
Popular book, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So number 3 looked like you had a guy with a pot on his head banging it with a stick.
Yes, that's accurate. That is actually what I found. The next thing down the list that I found that was not Donald Trump was, in fact, Kanye. A picture of Kanye, specifically a picture of him with his hair dyed blonde. And then the words idiot all over the place in that search.
Well, then you had Green Day's American Idiot logo, which
makes sense.
Total makes sense.
Very popular album, Broadway show, all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
Has the word in it.
Big comeback album for them, really.
Yeah, actually it was. Because their one previous to that was a little iffy.
Yeah.
Okay. But also that one was also about our president.
It was. And God, who knew how good we had it at the time, actually?
Right. Who would have thought that George W. Bush would be the paragon of intelligence of the last series of Republican presidents?
Yeah.
Who would have thought anybody would be wistfully reminiscing of, I miss George W. back when the only thing we had to worry about our president doing was committing war crimes.
Yeah. Now, if we ever did a real victim segment, Green Day would be a real victim in this whole Trump thing because now their album is completely irrelevant.
Yeah, right. It's don't want to be an American idiot. Too bad. All right. Number 6, billboards of Donald Trump. It's actually true. It's like billboards of pictures of Donald Trump. That's various and sundry.
Oh, okay. Stooges.
Yes, as in 3.
Oh, okay. Got you.
So it's a couple of them showed up. I don't know how to tell them apart because I'm not like an expert at that.
I take issue with this next one. Screenshots of Rick from Rick and Morty.
Yes.
That man is a genius.
Yeah, but I think he says the word idiot a lot. And so that was what the image was of him saying something
I was about
like
to revolt
Morty, you
on that
idiot, or whatever. I don't watch that show, so I'm not like an expert on it.
You should.
I know everybody says I should watch this show. It's not. I don't have to. When am I gonna watch this show?
Whatever, Morty.
Yeah, when I'm done being on this show. Well, I don't watch that show. I don't watch any shows. Okay, go ahead. Number 9.
The quote from Billy Madison about how stupid Eric is.
Yes, exactly, and how everybody now is dumber for having listened to him. And then number 10 on the list, which just made me really laugh is Jose Mourinho, the I don't know how many times coaches of various Premier League teams. This guy can't. He's a head coach of soccer teams in England.
Got it now.
He usually gets the job and then wins for his first 2 years. And by year 3, his team is facing probable relegation and his players are in open violent revolt, usually ending in death. And that's how much of an asshole he is, but also apparently idiot.
All right. Well,
thank you, Google.
Hugh Jackson gets spared that 10th spot there.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm proud of that. All right. You want to take a break?
Let's do that.
Well, wait a minute. Before we do that, there was one other highlight of that House Judiciary meeting.
Oh, okay.
Okay. During this meeting, Steve King, representative of Iowa, who famously said that all the Mexicans had calves the size of cantaloupes because of carrying all of the pounds of marijuana across the border, and various other racist things. Recently was hanging out with some Nazis in Vienna, Austria, where the real Nazis. All kinds of great stuff.
Not Vienna, Virginia.
Not Vienna, Virginia. Decided to ask the CEO of Google a very important question about his iPhone. I'll restate that. He asked the CEO of Google a question about his iPhone.
He's getting a little confused there.
Yes. King says his 7-year-old granddaughter was playing a game on her phone before an election, most likely King's November 2018 re-election bid, and was shown a picture of the congressman that included some not-so-flattering language. Quote, "I'm not going to say into the record what kind of language was used around the picture of her grandfather," he said. Then, holding up his Apple device, King asked the CEO of Google, quote, "How does that show up on a 7-year-old's iPhone who's playing a kid's game?"
Is this Facebook?
Right. The CEO of Google answered the question by saying, calmly, "Congressman, iPhone is made by a different company." To which he replied, "I didn't know that." No, he didn't say anything. The Democratic staff table erupted in laughter, according to the reporters who were there. And then King backtracked. It might have been an Android. It was a hand-me-down of some kind. Later in the hearing, Representative Ted Lieu of California told the Iowa congressman that if he wanted, quote, positive search results, he should do positive things, because King has repeatedly found himself in hot water over his racist comments.
Well, there you go. The people on the social media networks, they don't lie.
No, they can't. Well, they do.
They do.
Nearly constantly. But but in the aggregate.
But sometimes they tell the truth.
Yeah, but sometimes they tell the truth.
Right on the money.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to reiterate, Steve King asked the CEO of Google why his iPhone does things. That makes pretty good sense. Maybe this guy has had enough time in Congress.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I think, for an older generation, iPhone has now just become the name of every phone.
That's just a phone. Yeah, we don't know what it is. It's the children with the iPhones and the get off of my lawn or whatever.
It's like if you're going to Uber somewhere, even if you're going to Lyft.
Yeah, they don't understand there's a difference.
Yeah.
Which, frankly, I don't understand either. All right. You want to take a break?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break, and then we'll come back with the rundown. You're listening to Chip Chat here on Ripped Radio Network. Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip, with...
Ooh,
Whoa,
that was super
supposed
loud.
to be about fish. If anybody's wondering where Larry King without suspenders is, we sent him out west to set up Chip Chat West. It's taking longer than we expected.
What was the last correspondence then that we got from
The last dispatch from the frontier said that they were under attack by a bunch of Indians and that he would write when he was done attacking the Indians.
There'll be no time at all.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be just fine. Larry can handle himself out west. I also told him to watch out for iPhones, which are apparently made by Google out in San Francisco. Okay, so now we're here to the part of the show that's called the rundown. The first thing here in this rundown, I don't have a joke for this, but just fuck this guy, 21-year-old avowed neo-Nazi who murdered a woman when he plowed his car into a crowd of counter-protesters last year at a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, was sentenced for his crime. He was found guilty by a jury in Charlottesville. He is sentenced to life plus 419 years.
That is a long-ass time.
And $480,000 in fines.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he can earn over his 419 years in prison at $1 a day or whatever they pay you while you're working.
I'm sure that somebody of that level of intelligence has that much money in the bank already.
Yeah, that seems pretty likely. The judge will decide whether to sign off on the recommendation in March. So, yeah, I don't have a joke for that. Just, that's awesome.
I'm glad he's...
Yeah, I bet he'll have a lot of fun in
819.
prison.
Yeah.
I think his life plus 400 and it's not like he's 70-something where he's going to die pretty soon. Like, he's got to spend an actual life.
Yeah, that is literally the judge telling you, like, under no circumstances will you ever be free again.
Right.
We're just we're making up a fun number just so we can, like, have a little bit of a laugh at this.
Like, there's no statute that requires this. This is just the largest number that I could dash off and fit in these boxes in the form. Okay. This one is called Breaking Fake News. The publisher of right-wing scandal sheet, The National Enquirer, helped, quote, catch and kill a salacious story about President Trump shortly before the 2016 election in a deliberate effort to boost his chances at beating Hillary Clinton. Manhattan federal prosecutor said Wednesday American Media Incorporated was given a non-prosecution agreement by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan in exchange for confessing that it helped Trump facilitate an illicit pre-election hush payment to Karen McDougal, a former Playboy model who had threatened to go public with claims that she had sex with the president over a decade ago. Quote, AMI admitted that it made the $150,000 payment in concert with the candidate's presidential campaign and in order to ensure that this woman did not publicize damaging allegations about the candidate before the 2016 presidential election. Okay, there's a little bit more to this that's important. AMI further admitted that its principal purpose in making the payment was to suppress the woman's story so as to prevent it from influencing the election.
Donnie.
Yes, this is a critically important story. One might think the reason that this story is critically important is because it lends a second guilty plea to Cohen, Michael Cohen, the current president, or for the next 10 minutes anyway, his lawyer and fixer who pleaded guilty to making hush money payments and doing so at the direction and in coordination with individual number one. This is a second group of people who are now pleading guilty and admitting to working with individual number one to violate federal election law.
Wait a minute. Who's individual number one?
Exactly. And while this might sound like that's the main lead of this story, the real part of this story that anybody cares about is that the guy who runs the National Enquirer is named Pecker. David Pecker. Yes. Trump is in trouble because of his pecker. Once again.
So I guess, are you saying that you think Pecker has a whole sack of information on Trump?
Yes. A sack of information.
At any point, like, you think a whole load of information come
Just
exploding
spewing
out of Pecker.
this Pecker. Yes. Yes.
Well,
the
it seems
Pecker
like Trump is in a really hairy situation.
Yes. The Pecker is the Pecker
Very
is
sticky situation, yes.
yeah. The Pecker's very hard at explaining this to the judge in an effort to save its skin before it gets in trouble with the other Peckers. Yeah, the Pecker. All right, fine, whatever. Yeah, it's a dick joke. That's fucking hilarious. All right, yeah, right. Don't chop off the Pecker until you've got all the information. Not only that, but he admitted in court that he's got a safe full of stories about Trump that he's caught and killed over the years, and that he also used to send digital copies of stories that they were about to run about Trump or that could be potentially damaging to Trump to Michael Cohen for him to proofread and then decide should they run it or not. We're not talking about somebody who just is like a passing friend of Donald Trump, of which I'm sure there are literally 5 or 6. I'm talking about somebody who is a direct, coordinated, almost assistant organ of the operation.
I knew I shouldn't trust a guy named Pecker.
Yeah, right. Said a guy named Trump. Don't trust anybody named Trump. All right. This one's called Nice Try, Assholes. The U.S. Supreme Court has declined to hear a case brought by Republican-led states that are seeking to defund Medicaid, funding Planned Parenthood and other organizations that provide women's reproductive health services. The case does not involve federal money, which it can't because there's laws about that. 3 conservative justices, Thomas, iffy, Gorsuch, also iffy, and Samuel Alito, super iffy, dissented, and they would have heard the challenge. But interestingly enough, Chief Justice John Roberts, who has turned out to be more and more of a I'd rather not wade into this kind of a judge, and
did not see this one coming.
beer can Brett Kavanaugh decided he also did not want to hear this case, probably because
He was drunk.
And Squee and PJ were about to go lift weights, and that they also still like beer, and he doesn't have time for this because it's not on his calendar.
His calendar was full.
It was already full with Beach Week.
And
I'm not hearing cases during Beach Week.
Yeah, but I will say, I this gives me a little bit of hope, but also makes me even a little bit more nervous at the same time. I feel like this is just a red herring.
Yes, well, I'm full of dread that these guys keep discovering new ways to undo stuff. And who taught them to read? I thought the hallmark of Republican operatives was their how proud they were of how ignorant they were.
Speaking of, this is going off script, but speaking of rolling back, so you see they're rolling back initiatives on health food in children's schools?
Yes, of course, because Michelle and her arms passed those, or asked for those rules.
Yes.
The one who gardens all the time. What does she know? All right.
Making the food unhealthier for children.
Pizza is a vegetable. It has been for a long time, according to the USDA, and thus feeding it to children is good for them. Don't argue with them. They're the government. And the Farm Bill just passed this week, reauthorizing pizza as a vegetable. So I am a very healthy individual. I've been eating a lot of vegetables for most of my life, especially the vegetables with pepperoni on them. They're my favorite. Okay, this one is called Shooting Her Mouth Off. Federal prosecutors have reached a plea deal with Maria Butina, a Russian woman who parlayed her interest in gun rights and her Republican Party connections into an unofficial influence campaign inside the U.S. Butina has agreed to plead guilty to a single charge of conspiracy to act as a Russian agent on America's soil without registering as required by the Justice Department. We are fine with you being a spy so long as you fill out a form that says you're here to be a spy. You just can't do it without filling out the form.
Right. And so long as you start to show interest in the NRA.
Right. So her trick here, which is all far too clever, is that if you wanted to get in with Republicans, one trick to that, of course, is to get in with the NRA. And what we determined actually on our way up here, we did a scientific study, which is the less good you are at getting a date, let's just say, the less facility you have with ladies, the more likely you are to own lots of guns.
Unscientific study.
Yeah, it's directly proportional. So the worse you are with women, the more guns you own. And so if she wants to get these guys at the NRA to like her, she has to meet a very small number of criteria. A, be a woman, and B, show up. And by doing so, we'll get all of the attention of all of the completely dateless old white men who really are desperate to talk to any live female. They don't even care if she's Russian or not.
Right.
And she's like a solid 5.
Yeah.
Like,
we're not even talking drop dead here. And we hate to judge people on their looks, but we're talking about a Russian spy.
Yeah, so she's not a person, so it doesn't matter. We don't care what happens to her. But she's like, you know, for a gun convention, she's an 11.
Right.
But, you know, like in the real world, at like a McDonald's drive-thru, she's a good 5. Like, I might notice that she was there taking my order.
Maybe at the McDonald's drive-thru, she's
Yeah.
a 6.
Yeah. McDonald's. Burger King, she's like a...
Definitely Wendy's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Wendy's, she's probably like an 8. Yeah. But Burger King, she's like a 4. There's a lot of high-quality stuff at a Burger King. You know, it's the home of the Whopper.
Well, we'll get to the McDonald's portion.
We are going to talk about McDonald's very soon. And then finally, here in the rundown, we're going to call this one, I could have sworn that he knows better, Steph Curry. Steph Curry thinks the moon landing's fake.
Well, I'm going to let you read the story, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on this, Chip.
Well, okay. I'll just make this very brief. Steph Curry's thoughts on the moon landing are sheer lunacy. Oh, that's about does it right here. Golden State Warriors point guard revealed in a recent podcast that for reasons unclear, he's fairly certain that the moon landing was fake. Curry, 30 years old, he's 30. Should know better, he's 30. Appeared on Kent Bazemore and Vince Carter's Winging It podcast. I thought Vince Carter was still in the league. Did he finally retire?
No, I think he's still in the league.
Oh, and
he was as of
and
last
he's
season.
doing a podcast. With teammate Andre Iguodala, and the conversation started innocently enough with the group pondering just what sounds dinosaurs make, which is a reasonable thing to talk about on an NBA podcast. But they got around to basically saying, "Hey, have we ever been to the moon?" said Steph, and everybody said no, no. But they're all going to come get us for saying so, and no, except that yes. I've touched a moon rock. Like, I know it's real.
How did you know it was real? How did you know it's an actual moon rock
the
from
Kennedy
the moon?
Space Center, and they're like, here's the moon rock.
Well, I'm
you
glad you brought this up. So, have you ever been to the Air and Space Museum right here in D.C.?
Yes. So
Okay.
many times I can recite most of the plaques.
I can imagine. Now, I never thought, ever once had any type of suspicion that we did not land on the moon until I sat in that damn lunar module. And you're trying to tell me that thing went to the moon and back?
No. The one that's in the museum is one of the test ones that they used here to test to see could they sit in it.
There's about 1,000 dip switches in there.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right.
You're trying to tell me they flew to the moon using dip switches?
Yes, mostly. And some gyroscopes. And that's why all of these guys were test pilots. They had to literally eyeball their way into a lot of this. It's not like it is now. You're used to like summoning an Uber with your phone and not having to think about where things are in space.
I don't know, man. I sat in that thing and I said, no way.
You'd be the right size to sit in it, too. I can't fit in that stuff. You're short enough to fit in the lunar module.
Well, you wouldn't be sending me. I would not.
I'm way too... No.
They ain't getting my ass in that thing.
No. Well, okay. But you really don't think...
Possibility of something going wrong and like floating endlessly through space till my
really
air
huge.
and food and water runs out? No, thank you.
Yeah, well,
no,
right.
thank you.
That's why these guys are the bravest of the brave. They got the right stuff. I mean, that's what it's called. You know, these guys. It wasn't like I don't know why people think this, but like we're so used to flying on airplanes and it's like effortless and even kind of like pleasurable. So people think that space travel is like that. It's nothing like that. It's literally like, oh my God, I'm gonna die for the entire time until you touch back down.
Yeah,
It's terrifying.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So you still don't.
I
think
am
we went
not
to the
going to
moon?
be one of those people who says, you know what, I'm going to be on that ship to Mars, the one-way ship to Mars. I'm not going to be one of those people.
No. I apparently have to watch Rick and Morty. I'll never get a chance to. If I
You
have
do
go
need to watch Rick and Morty.
When am I going to do that? Maybe on my flight to
We're
Mars.
all in agreement on that.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, hopefully we have our guest on the line. and we will talk to him. Does that sound like a good plan?
Sounds awesome.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Chip Chat here on Ripped Radio Network.
Good morning. Check it out.
Forever in our hearts. Rest in peace to the dead. Do this one time. I've been hearing talk like who you think the hottest. And if you a nigga, then they probably lying. Hey, but I'm slide down, most slept on. I deserve awards for all the days I just kept going. Hate from these niggas, just the devil from a different form. I'ma keep writing all these songs upon my empty palms. All these niggas talking, I stay away from. They trying to catch up to me, I ain't gonna wait for 'em. You in the party if you ain't love this.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Fish. Together we are Fish and Chip.
I am Fish of that equation.
Yes. Okay, now joining us on the line live from an undisclosed location is Rock Martin. He's the man at Sweetwater.com, the online outfit that supplies this very studio. They are a leader.
Thank you, Mike, for the DJ booth.
Yes.
I still owe you some money.
Okay. They are a leader in studio and audio gear, DJ supplies, and all other things needed for production. What sets them apart, of course, is the personal touch, which is how we got Rock to come hang out with us. Rock, welcome to Chip Chat.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Pleasure.
Thank you for dealing with our various technical delays. If we had better studio equipment, we wouldn't have had those. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I know somebody who can help out with that.
Yeah, you do. Right. Do they sell engineers?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Maybe
yeah.
for a pay on the weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We need a. Tell you what. Find us a board operator, and I'll pay you $30 for him or something like that. That's about how much I got.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go back to the shack out back. Okay. So so Rock, tell us about Sweetwater and what your mission is over there.
Well, most people don't know that Sweetwater's still privately owned for the most part. We have a presence online that's pretty big, so these days when you do searches for any type of musical instrument or software or whatever, we're kind of in the mix with everybody else, Guitar Center, Sounds, AMS, but most people don't know that we're still privately owned, and we're based solely in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Northeastern Indiana, almost Michigan, really. It's like 50 miles from Michigan.
I like that
So that's
almost
really
Michigan part. God willing, one
yeah.
day you'll
Yeah,
be in Michigan with the good people.
Yeah.
Go Blue.
Well, Indiana's pretty flat, so if you want to go see like actual scenery, you got to travel like north.
That's
Otherwise,
true.
You're just gonna see corn.
I've been to Indiana.
Soybean.
I went to the highest point in Indiana. It was the third floor of the Holiday Inn I was staying in.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true. I'm not making that up. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead with your story.
Oh yeah, so Sweetwater all boils down to our current, owner. He started Sweetwater. His name's Chuck Sirac. And he is the Sweetwater story. All of us are just a part of really what he created, back in 1979, I guess. So we're pushing up on 40 years. And
Wow.
He was just a studio guy. Yeah. He had his own studio equipment, would go around and record people in the area, church services, events. And he drove around, like when you walk in Sweetwater at the front of the building is like an old VW bus, the old rounded edges.
The little
buses, and that's what
microbus,
he
yeah.
used to, yeah, exactly. And he would pull out his analog gear and go and record stuff. And then he would go back to his studio and do the mixing and, finalization process. And then eventually it got to the point where he was just doing, he had his own keyboards. He's a synth guy. He's also a sax player. So our CEO is a musician. It's not like we're a board of directors with people who are only concerned about the bottom line. Like the people, involved in the decision-making process at Sweetwater are musicians or at least have some background in music. So that, drew my attention when I first started looking for a position. My brother actually works there too, and he got me in the door, and I was just like drawn to this place that's like, okay, this is run by people who are actually interested in what we're doing, not just interested in making money. Obviously, we want to make money, but
Sure.
it's more about, being a place that's a destination. So Yeah, Chuck had keyboards. He's a keyboard player, and the story starts with the Kurzweil. You know, it's a story we always get told. Everybody gets told when they roll in. The Kurzweil K250 was a sampling keyboard from back in the day, and everybody used it. You know, Stevie Wonder,
Oh yeah.
Bruce Springsteen, anybody who was anybody used this keyboard because you could sample whatever you wanted into it, right? You could sample strings, you could go whatever you wanted to do. You could sample the instrument and then play it on the keyboard. And he got to the point where he knew the instrument better than almost the engineers at Kurzweil. So he became kind of a destination for even these famous people to come and like get not only support for the product, but also he did his own sample libraries. He would go to the local, you know, symphony orchestra and record them and then have like violins, and he sold his sample libraries. And that was kind of the beginning of Sweetwater, was selling K250s and his sample libraries to friends, and people who just came to him, and we're still all about the referral business. I mean, obviously things have changed to where Google is sending us a ton of business, right?
Sure.
But we still appreciate the idea of an existing customer going up to his buddies and saying, "Hey, you need to go buy from Sweetwater because of, you know, my guy Rock at Sweetwater."
That's definitely how this
really
happened. So you mentioned your
Exactly.
brother works there. Can we ask what his name is?
Kurt.
Kurt?
Yeah.
That's
Yep,
so how come
K-U-R-T.
he's got like this sort of normal name and you're Rock? Like
Yeah.
how did that even happen?
You know, that's people ask me that all the time. It's probably the single most asked question that, you know, on a daily basis. People are like, "Well, where did that name come from? Where'd you get the name Rock?" And it's like, you know, I asked my parents, and they just really don't know. My dad's name is Rodney, so I think it's just kind of a derivative thing, you know. But Kurt, and then I've got another brother, Jared, and then my sister's Rewa, and that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
I don't know another Rewa.
Do you think your folks
Yeah.
maybe were also on that microbus traveling around, like, you know, sampling things?
No. Yeah, people ask me that too, and I'm like, no, you got to meet my parents. I mean, I was born and raised in Western Kentucky, so it's like Southern Baptist,
Oh,
you know, to the core.
they're no fun.
They're pretty conservative.
Yeah.
But my mom was an English teacher, so she was not like, you know, the same. No, she was not like just a redneck. You know, we weren't rednecks.
I was going to
I
say,
am
an
a
English
little bit,
teacher in
but-
Western Kentucky's got to be a lonesome profession.
Yeah.
No
Well,
offense
you
to
know,
the fine folks in Kentucky.
She loved it.
I don't
Yeah,
worry
Western
about
Kentucky
making
is
fun of
mostly
people.
farming.
I don't worry about making fun of people in the mountainous areas of Kentucky because I know they don't have electricity and therefore can't hear this show. So, all right,
That's right.
Otherwise,
That's
they would be
Eastern
tuned
Kentucky.
in.
yeah. Otherwise, they would be tuned in. We're definitely their core demographic. Okay, so what makes Sweetwater? You touched on it a little bit. Different from Amazon and other online retailers.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sales engineers, really. I mean, that is the core of what Sweetwater is all about. Chuck was the first sales engineer. So if you place an order online at Sweetwater, it goes to a person there, right? Like, it's not like it just goes to a computer system. Like, internet orders come to a person. Like, they'll come to me, and they just get distributed randomly amongst the sales floor, and then we make the follow-up call. And we'll try to, you know, if we get the person on the phone, it's kind of a lost art, kind of the phone call and the sales call, and a lot of people are kind of scared of like sales-oriented phone calls, right? Because it's a high-pressure situation, and people are like they think that somebody's just going to try to sell them something they don't need. But we're all about trying to, like, if you're interested in Sweetwater and you buy something from us, we want to make sure that you've got everything that you need, so that when you get it there, especially if you're buying something for your kid this time of year, right? You got a lot of moms and dads going and buying guitars online, and they don't know what they need.
They don't need.
They're
They don't
just
know
like
they
going
need an
to-
amp or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah, they
attest
don't
to
know
this.
that they
I've
need a
actually
cable
ordered
or
from
maybe a
Sweetwater in the past.
tuner.
Right. So yeah,
Yeah,
not
so-
only does Fish do radio with me, but he's a famous musician.
Oh yeah, super famous, and I have, in fact, I'm actually a customer of Sweetwater for sure. I can attest to the customer service that you guys bring. It's very personalized.
It seems like it's something that everybody in the industry knows about, but people outside of it don't.
And is it only music
No.
gear, Rock? Because I think I've purchased some other gear
Yes.
through Sweetwater.
Well, I mean, we will dabble. I mean, we've obviously gone into a more consumer level as we've grown, just because that's just the way it goes with the dynamics of the industry. We picked up more. Well, just the industry in general. The recording industry in general has gone the way of being more home-based, right? You know, the big rooms and the big recording consoles and all of that kind of stuff. There's still those rooms, but they're not as big as just the guy who has Fruity Loops, you know,
Right.
on his laptop with
Yep.
an audio interface and is making beats for somebody who's going to sing over the top of it, and the next thing you know, that person's a YouTube sensation. You know, that's way more common, so we have to, like, be willing to kind of jump into that. But we don't go into the video as much. We'll do it if we need to. We have some, you know, connections where we can get video-related equipment, and we sell Vegas and Media Composer from Avid. But we don't really push in the. That's just something we do so that we can, in the end, we can provide a total solution to the customer. It's not about us wanting to really. We don't really want to go into video because that's not our wheelhouse. That's not our specialty. We are an audio company. We are musicians and audio engineers. But if we can provide a solution for the customer with a video product, of course we want to do that. And we've got, you know, the Zoom cameras and GoPros.
What would you say is
That stuff
the
that kinda
what would you say is the
crosses
top selling product this, especially this holiday season? How about?
The top selling product this holiday. Man, you know, we're still pro audio at the core, so a USB audio interface, probably something like the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2.
Yep.
You know, $160 for 2 mic inputs through USB. I'm sure that's still, we're selling tons of those.
Yep.
So the next question is
Or
sort of
back.
a little more broadly. Where do you see the online retail sector moving overall? I mean, where are we going with this? Not just at Sweetwater, but overall.
I mean, obviously, I mean, everything's going to a more hands-off approach at every other business. If you go to Amazon or Newegg, where I shop at for guitar or computer parts and stuff, any of those places, it's definitely going to more of a hands-off approach, which is a little bit scary. That, for one, you know, we're going to be replacing everybody with a robot, you know, and a robot's going to be doing everything. A computer is going to be making the decision, and then a robot machine is going to go pick the product, and maybe a human's going to pack it, right? But we have heard the stories about how that goes.
Well, but we're freeing up those people to do things of higher value, like, say, radio shows. And, you know,
well,
God
that's
willing,
true.
I can get a robot to do this job. Yeah, he could be here next week. All
There's
right,
something to be said for, you know, a job at Sweetwater, even starting out, or even it's not just Sweetwater, but starting out somewhere where you've got health benefits and you've got a growth potential and you've got a career opportunity. I mean, there's something about that to me is a little bit lost. People investing in something at a lower level and then growing. Everybody wants to jump right into whatever it is that they want to do, right? Like, I'm going to be a manager. Well, no. I mean, that's not the way the world really works. At least not in the way it worked for me.
not
You know,
usually.
I started at Sweetwater as an hourly employee, and then, you know, making $10 an hour, and then became a sales engineer after I'd kind of got a feel for the place and felt like I could do the job. So, I mean, I feel like, you know, the retail sector, I think definitely brick and mortar stuff is going to take a back seat as we are. I mean, obviously, it's already seen, you know, that stores are going to kind of start to make a shift away, and people are going to be buying more online delivery services. But I still think there's value in being able to talk to people and being able to get service and support. And really, that's an addition, you know, the service and support that we offer. I mean, being able to talk to somebody to work through an issue, that's why people continue to come back to us.
It's like
Sure.
It's like that latest South Park episode where they have to go to the mall. They're forced to go to the mall, and there's just zombies.
Don't
there.
even understand why they're there. Yeah.
Nobody there.
Oh, yeah.
well,
Oh,
Rock,
look, our Sears in Fort Wayne closed, and it's just depressing.
They're all closed. They went bankrupt. So, all
Yeah,
right,
it's a
Rock,
huge
we're almost
store.
at,
I mean, it was
we're almost
this year.
at our time here. Fish got one more question here.
Yeah, so just you know, in the holiday spirit, what do you have coming up for the holidays? Anything going on?
Big sales.
Anything Well, I mean, we just kind of had our big stuff as far as like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I mean, that's where it's at for an online dealer. But that's the thing about Sweetwater, man. I mean, it doesn't have to be Christmas time for you to call in and talk to your sales engineer and get a deal. We'll work a deal anytime.
That's nice.
You know, so if you're looking for equipment and you don't know what you're looking for, but you still want somebody to take care of you and hook you up, I mean, that's really, we want to develop the relationship. But yeah, we'll hook you up. It doesn't have to be now. It can be April. Always.
That's fabulous. Okay, and Sweetwater.com, that's the easiest way to get on, right?
Yeah, Sweetwater.com is, I mean, you can call in, too. The 800 number's on the website at the top. I mean, if you want to talk to somebody, I mean, you'll get this. If you want to talk to somebody at Sweetwater, call the 800 number, and then reception will transfer you to somebody who's available in sales. And you'll be talking to somebody in 2-3 minutes.
A real
if you
person?
have to wait any longer than that, yeah, I'd be surprised. If you have to wait any longer than that, I would really be surprised.
If you have to wait any longer than that, call our show, and we'll hook you up with Rock. You can talk to him directly. That's one of our powers here.
You can call me, Mike. My extension's 1634, so
there you go.
Give me a call.
Call Rock with all of your audio gear needs.
Putting his extension where his mouth is.
That's right. Hey, he wants those sales. Okay, so that means we've come to the end of that segment there, Rock. And we've got your info. We're going to go on to our break. Thank you so much for coming by. We really appreciate it, taking time out of your day.
And trust us, the check is in the mail.
Yep. We'll be ordering more good stuff from you as long as you keep hooking us up. Yeah, as long
you got
as
it, man. My pleasure.
Thanks. We'll be all right. All right, cool, man. Thanks for stopping by. We're gonna move on now. We'll take a quick break and then we'll come back with Chip's World in the third half of the show. You're listening to Chip Chat here on Ripped Radio Network.
Green. Got a handshake like a meltdown. Nobody told me about the quality. You got that beatnik vibe down, warmed over with a side of booze. Wow. Throw in a couple colorful glow hearts. I know you people you can't lose. We get along, long as you know your place. But if you get me wrong, you're gonna have to get me straight. We get along, long as you know your place. But if you get me wrong, you're gonna have to get me straight. Welcome to my jungle. Can't apologize if you muddied up your show. Buy your business, stranger. Gotta pay the cost if you wanna sing the blues. Why you trying to save yourself from a common road? Then you gotta got the road. Come on, man.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Fish. We just got off the line with Rock from Sweetwater.com. Thanks for stopping by, Rock. That was really cool. Make sure you go there to get all your audio gear for the upcoming Christmas holiday, hence the hat. Housekeeping notes. This is going to be our last show of this calendar year because then there'll be the holidays and stuff, and so we'll be back in January. January 10th.
Okay.
will
January
be when
10th.
we come back. So that's good. That's one less week I have to book.
That's great.
That's good. So so everybody can tune in then.
Don't
Okay.
like you guys anyway.
Yeah. So now we've come to this part of the show that's called Chip's World, which I'm going to read you this thing that I wrote. So Manafort, Cohen, Butina, they all went down this week. John Kelly is leaving the White House as chief of staff. Pelosi,
sad.
yeah, he's bad. He was an idiot anyway or something. I'm sure we're going to find, he's going to get a new nickname.
Yeah,
Like
I can't,
grouchy John Kelly. Or,
I can't wait to see the tweet about this.
yeah, I'm sure.
Low education.
Right. Low IQ John Kelly. Okay. Pelosi played Trump live on television. Chuck Schumer got him so agitated that he proudly grabbed the term shutdown for his own. It is clear that things are not going well for the tiny-handed one. He wants a wall. Pelosi said it was a manhood thing for him, if he had any. It was spectacular.
It was spectacular.
It was. Okay, we learned something critical from this week, and I catch myself agreeing with Lawrence O'Donnell on an important point, something that I rarely do. What we learned is that the best way to beat Trump is to drag him, to troll him, to verbally decapitate him in public, and then watch him flail about. This whole treating him like he's a serious person or arguing policy in fact is pointless. The trick here is to let him have it. Let him have as much rope as he needs to hang himself with, and then just sit back and watch it. It's totally great. Cohen allocated to a series of charges, seriously illegal activity, and the federal prosecutors implicated individual number one in all of it. Individual number one, of course, they defined as the guy who successfully completed a 2016 bid for the presidency.
Who are you talking about?
Yeah, right. I have no idea. He's let's see. Individual number one is on wife number three.
No collusion.
No collusion.
Completely cleared.
Right. The folks at the National Enquirer and AMI went further, as we detailed earlier, and Trump's response, a wild Twitter rant in which he admitted to all kinds of felonies, explained that they weren't in fact felonies, but if they were, it's no big deal, and you can see where all this is going.
Well, I mean, all you have to do is Google and it'll tell you he's an idiot.
That's right. The trick here is to let Trump hang himself, wind him up, leave him alone, and let him do his own damage. What do we think would work the best? Perhaps reminding him of how well the wall is working, that he claims to have already built, and then ask him why he wants money to build another one. This is true. He's actually telling everybody that the wall is already built and working, at the same time threatening to shut down the government because it won't give him the money to build his wall.
I went and visited the wall. It looks great.
It's great. It's already done. The Department of Homeland Security released a press release today about the wall in which they used wall as a gerund or a verb in a way of like we're going to wall things and the wall, we're walling better than ever before. The old wall was small, now ours is tall. It looked like it was written by somebody who was hungover trying to read Dr. Seuss. It was joyful. Like, it's the best press release I've read from a government agency in a long time.
Need a bigger wall. This one's too small.
Yes, exactly. It sounded just like that. Okay, what's another way to let him damage himself? Well, we could parade the list of women that he's abused and denigrated publicly across his Fox News feed and then watch him lose his mind while jerking his tiny mushroom at the same damn time. We could ask him about the various tax cuts that he claimed to have already passed and ask him where the results are. What else? Make him sit in a room with Eric for 5 minutes? There's so many ways. But the trick here is to stop trying to actually fight him on the substance of the issue. Chuck and Nancy finally figured it out. All you got to do is point the camera at him and say, go. And he'll take care of the rest. Like, brilliantly. I don't want to give Trump too much credit, but if there's anybody that can destroy him, it's Trump. And he's doing a great job of it. Great.
I just want to say,
Big league.
I know my Trump impression is shit, but it's a lot of fun. So
No, it's
I'm gonna
amazing.
keep doing
You should
it.
actually keep doing it. You should try to do it some more. Okay, the point here is that the end is very nearer than I felt comfortable believing in a very long time. The walls are closing in fast, and the man who wants a wall most of all is about to be trapped by them, which is goddamn poetic.
Putting you on the spot right now.
Yes.
Does he make it to the 2020 election?
Yes. And if we're smart, we don't impeach him because
You
we
think he'll
need to
just
run
lose?
against him. Yes. And in the meantime, we watch him dangerously flail about. I mean, the really risky thing that could happen is that the cheeseburger muncher in chief could give himself a heart attack and Mike Pence could end up as president before we get to 2020. And that guy is the worst kind of president, would be evil and competent. Trump is evil and stupid. So he's sort of harmless. You know, he's ineffectual. He can't actually do anything because he doesn't know that anything works. He's the kind of guy who would stare at a light switch and yell at it and wonder why the light isn't on. Like, he has no idea. He can't even do that kind of thing. He told people that, you know, the hurricane threw a boat into their house, and he told them, well, look, you know, you got a boat out of it. Like, he's that complete. Rake the forests, for God's sakes. Rake your forests. Everybody in California, go rake your forests. So why don't we take a break while we go rake the forests?
We'll do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a
rakes.
quick break, get the rakes out. You're listening to Chip Chat here on Ripped Radio Network.
Never kick with these hoes. I don't know judo when I'm feeling higher than the stars that be passing Pluto. You know, kudos. Switch my lines, I got a new flow. And you know I keep my price high, talking nouveau. No niggas who put work in, you can't Google. Man, these niggas Twitter gangster, use a jokester, use a prankster. On the verge, I'm kinda anxious. Since my birth, I've been an angel. All my partners want the money, we ain't trying to be famous. Smile like God, I'm dreaming. They want me down, but the demons, I want a child, but a diva put me on trial and I leave her. That's enough for the future. Let's take it back to the present. I'm kinda gifted with blessings. It's time to switch up the lessons. I'm about to be a legend. And it's motherfucking game. In 3 years, dog, I bet you know my whole name. In 3 years, dog, I'm coming hard with the poo. Normally, I like to hit the blunt until my face gone. But I been going so hard, nigga, cause I ain't staying home. I go up in the booth and I run through like 8 songs. After this tape, the features ain't free niggas paying for 'em. If they still hating on me, I hope that you praying for 'em. If these niggas is falling off, they ain't meant for 'em. Niggas is chasing that pot while I be caking on 'em. I'm speaking like the industry, but ain't no label on 'em. Came from the bottom, I came from the bottom. With demons and monsters, I feel like a monster. This shit is a problem, I'm with no option. My niggas, they watching, they know that I got this. I am the topic, I feel like the hottest. I'm high up the gas, I'm checking the mileage. Whoa, nigga, baby, let me just fucking duck, cause I ain't Joe, nigga. Now they see me shining and they be acting so different. No, I keep it more than 100, like 450s. And she like when that money talkin', she a gold digger. No, I'ma kill it by any means, I'm prolific. How the fuck could you intervene if the pros feel it? Yeah, I smoke my little weed, but I am dope, nigga. Talking about that raw shit, hard shit, nigga. Life's a bitch, but she's so damn gorgeous. Niggas wanna peek at you when you revolving. I ain't no fiend, weed is problem solving. Been up in that water since the tadpole in that faucet. Ran with killers, gorillas, and I swam with the dolphins. I am from New Orleans where they put you in a coffin and they hate to see you on, so these niggas gon' off you. Damn, what niggas so heartless. I am a god and I hang with Martians. Higher than the heavens, I can hear an angel coughing. I don't hear you talking, I don't do bullshit. I be chilling up in the suburb on some hood shit. Trying to get hood rich, I just need a hood bitch.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I am your host, Chip. With me is Fish. Together we're Fish and Chip. There you go. That's a Fish joke.
It was.
Yeah, tell the people what that was.
Well, there's a little movie called The Incredible Mr. Limpet. Have you ever heard of this?
Yes, I remember. It's an animated fish with a bunch of people from the 40s or something.
Fish have a better life than people.
Yeah, there he goes.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the thing about fish. Okay, so now we've come to the part of the show. It's called The Real Victim. So we're going to tell you about some stuff, and the trick here is for us to deduce who the real victim of these various occurrences is. You with me?
Yeah. I hate this section only because I feel like in every one of these stories I get so mad and I feel like I'm the real victim.
Now you're getting it. That's
Okay.
how this is supposed to work. Okay. The first one is that McDonald's announced that they are going to start selling cheesy bacon fries. Now, while this is something we all have dreamt about for our entire lives, not totally sure this is good for everybody, but turns out might be great for everybody. If you go back and listen to a few shows ago, you will remember that my cousin Yuval figured out that lab-grown pork is kosher. And not only is it kosher, but that various readings of various scriptures says that in the time of the Messiah, pork will be kosher. Or read the other way, when pork is kosher, the Messiah will come. And so my plan was to make the Messiah come by eating as much bacon as I could, hoping that it would eventually turn kosher, and thus I will be responsible for peace on earth. Along comes McDonald's to lend a hand with cheesy bacon fries. I plan to consume about as many of these as possible. I'm not a big McDonald's guy. I don't really eat a lot of McDonald's, but I will move mountains to get to some cheap bacon, and cheese only makes it better.
Well, you got to give McDonald's a hand here or some credit at least.
Yeah.
For completely bucking the current trend of trying to get healthier with their menu.
Right.
All these different restaurants offering healthier options. McDonald's actually flew in the face of all of that.
They're just embracing all of our inner fatzos. I wonder how many orders of bacon cheese fries Tiny Hands is going to order. Like Air Force One is just going to be parked outside of the McDonald's. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
This whole thing might be the result of an executive order.
Oh, so you know who the real victim of this is?
Who?
It's Wendy's, who already has cheesy bacon fries, and nobody's talking about them.
That's right. It's all about the marketing.
I feel like nobody, Wendy's not getting any credit for that. Who else is the real victim?
I don't know. The Hamburglar. I mean,
Yes,
I have no idea.
Clearly, the Hamburglar. It's going to be much harder to steal all those burgers with everybody packing the McDonald's visibly there. He's going to get caught.
That's right.
The Fry guys, they're victims because now they have to bring the bacon and cheese guys along with them everywhere. They didn't used to. Those guys used to stay only along with the burgers. I feel like Mayor McCheese is also a victim in this somehow.
I feel like he's to blame.
Yeah, he's not the victim. He's the perpetrator. Yeah. And Grimace, of course.
He stands to profit the most from all of this.
Yeah, Grimace also likely a victim. This would explain the shape of Grimace, is all of the bacon cheese fries.
That's why they hadn't offered it until now. 'Cause
Right.
He's been eating them all.
They had been offering them, and they just never made it past him. Grimace died a week ago, and all of a sudden this is going to show up on the menu. Coincidence? I think not. That sounds like a conspiracy. Speaking of conspiracies.
Oh. Let's move on to our next story.
Conservative writer and conspiracy theorist Jerome Corsi, and I would add PhD, which, yes, he actually has a PhD, filed a lawsuit on Sunday accusing special counsel Bobby Three Sticks of blackmailing him to lie about Donald Trump in the investigation into the Russian interference of the 2016 election. The suit, which seeks $350 million from a government employee, seeks $350 million in actual and punitive damages in U.S. District Court in Washington, was filed 6 days after Corsi entered a formal complaint with the Justice Department alleging prosecutorial misconduct by Robert Mueller. Corsi, who is 72, the former Washington bureau chief, I can't believe this is actually a set of words I'm about to say, of the conspiracy website InfoWars. Bureau chief?
I didn't have that position.
Bureau chief? Jesus Christ. Okay.
And does that imply that there are other bureau chiefs in other parts of the
other bureaus?
Yeah.
Clearly, of the InfoWars network scattered. What's
How
the
many of these
InfoWars
bureau
Kansas
chiefs are
City
running
bureau
around?
Cover. We're like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of gay frogs over here, Alex. Back to you. Like, what could they possibly be needing bureau chiefs for? He accuses Mueller's office of having illegally leaked secret information from the grand jury investigation into Russia's election interference. The suit also accuses the special counsel's office of having threatened him with prison unless he agrees to testify falsely that he served as a liaison between WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange and the Republican political strategist Roger Stone, who actually has a tattoo of Richard Nixon on his back, which I'm not making up. So the thing here is that, of course, Corsi isn't being blackmailed into this. We found the emails. NBC reported them. They've got them where he's like, hey, we're about to get this information from Julian. It's going to come out like the day I get back from England. I just talked to him 5 minutes ago, and then there's going to be some more that's going to come back in October. And Roger Stone was like, cool, man, thanks. I'll let Donald know. He's like clearly involved in all this.
Pretty clear.
Okay, so who is the real victim of Bobby Three Sticks' blackmail campaign against
InfoWars?
Corsi?
This hurts their credibility, and no one's going to take them seriously ever again.
Right, and they were, such a respected news outlet previously.
I mean, they're really taking a fall from grace here.
You know who the real victim is? all of those guys who falsely made up the stories about John Kerry and the Swift boats, who were in Corsi's book about the Swift boat, in which he lied and said that John Kerry didn't actually do any of the stuff that he did in Vietnam, which he did, and won like bronze stars and stuff for it.
You know who the real victims are? Pretty much anyone who's ever had any association with Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Because they're probably going to jail.
they're probably going to jail
Eventually.
or getting $130,000. Either way, it probably was a very
Depends on how you play your cards.
difficult situation for them
Depends
to
on
deal
how
with.
you play your cards. All right, you
I don't
ready to
know
move on?
whether I would rather have like the $130,000 or go to jail for Donald Trump, because I know what the $130,000 means you got from him. This is definitely a case of mushroom herpes. Oh my God.
All right, Pool Paula. Ready
Yeah.
to move on?
Yes.
All right, so our friend, the white South Carolina woman who was nicknamed Pool Patrol Paula, you might remember this woman. She pleaded guilty to the assault of a black teen who she hit and forced to leave a community swimming pool. This was, over the summer or maybe last summer? I can't remember. Anyway, so her name is Stephanie Sebi Stremble. She's 38 years old. She pleaded guilty on Monday.
She does not look 38, by the way. That's a hard 38.
I did not see the pic. I don't think we have it up on the screen. But hard 38 there for Stremble, apparently. She pleaded guilty on Monday to assault and battery in the June incident. So it was this past June. So the teen told officials that he and his friends were at the community pool. This is in the Summerville area of South Carolina. And when Stemple began blurting racial slurs and said that he and his friends didn't belong. The incident, which was captured on video, shows Stremple swinging her arms toward the boy as she yells, "Get out, get out!" She can also be heard making threats to call 911 on the teens as she chases them toward the pool exit in the latest example of
Living While Black.
Living While Black.
Yeah,
You gotta Swimming While Black.
Yeah, Swimming While Black. You got to admire somebody who's willing to call the cops while they're committing the crime. Like that's some serious balls.
So, Chip, who's the real victim here?
Well, the real victim in this is clearly everybody else named Paula, because she already has the whitest name possible, Stephanie Sebi Stremple. Like, we didn't need to make up, a Pool Patrol Paula for her.
That is
and
so
it's
funny
like
that-
these poor Paulas are just being slandered by this lady.
That's so funny that her name is Pool Patrol Paula.
Yeah.
But actually her real name is Stephanie
Is
Sebi Stremble.
even whiter than it's like hyphenated and everything. The real victim here is the Paw Patrols, who will now forever be confused with the Pool Patrol Paula. The Paw Patrol is a great cartoon. The children love it. It's about dogs that drive around in rescue vehicles and shit.
You're out of my league here.
Yeah,
Chip.
wait till you have kids. You'll find out. But they have a Dalmatian that drives a fire truck, because that makes sense. But it's too close. Paw Patrols and Pool Patrol Paula, forever confused. I don't think I can let my kid watch that anymore. It's done. She can be like, "Daddy, I want to watch Paw Patrols." No. She hit a bunch of black kids. You can't watch that anymore. No. That's Pool Patrol. That's different. Oh yes. Well, you enjoy your puppies then. That's how that's gonna go. I can anticipate that conversation. The real victim here is. It's clearly the rest of the kids at that pool, who just had the cool factor reduced by however many black kids were escorted summarily out of the pool.
That's true. Where is this woman going, by the way? So she pleaded guilty. So what does that mean?
So we're awaiting sentencing.
Okay, so we don't know.
we're going to find out what she gets sentenced, I think, in the next couple of weeks.
What's your prediction on that?
My guess is she's going to get pay a fine of $1,000 and have
Some
to go
community service and shit.
clean up some trash or something, because she is white after all, and she did hit a black kid, and it's South Carolina. So all told, it's either that or she'll be made governor. Those are the two things that could happen to her. I don't know, governor or speaker of their assembly or whatever. They're going to elect her for something. That's credentials in South Carolina. You understand that? If you're a white lady that beat up a bunch of black boys in a swimming pool, you get a medal and probably a statue next to Robert E. Lee. That's what she's going to get.
She also has a nickname that's already trended.
Yeah, she's popular. She could easily win re-election as the Pool Patrol, and then she can hit all of the children. She'll be great at it. What do you think?
I think we should move on.
All right, let's go on to Dude Seriously. We'll skip a break. We'll just go straight to the Dude Seriously. Okay, even death could not stop their love, but now it looks like the honeymoon is over for an Irish woman and her 300-year-old pirate ghost husband.
Oh, this is an update to our previous story?
No,
Or this
it's
is
another one.
Another ghost
It is
fucker.
another one. Yes. It might not have been love at first sight, but when 46-year-old Amanda Sparrow Teague met the ghost of the 18th century Haitian pirate named Jack, she knew it was love. You know, one of those shithole pirates. So the pair were legally married. Legally married in a ceremony held in international waters off the coast of Ireland.
Gar.
How is it legal if it's held in international waters where the express purpose of holding it there is so that there's no laws? But their love couldn't last forever. Now Amanda says that she wants a divorce. I would imagine because, you know, shithole pirate was cheating on her or something.
Gar.
It seemed like the perfect love story. Amanda had a soft spot for swarthy buccaneers. She was Northern Ireland's only female Jack Sparrow impersonator and spent £5,433, which has got to be at least $4 or $7 American. I don't know how to translate that money, to legally change her name from Large. That was her last name was Large. That's a great name, Amanda Large. I bet she had a great time in high school.
You got to be kidding me.
To Sparrow, nope.
She's trying to say the ghost name was Jack Sparrow?
Yes. No, she named herself Sparrow, and then she married Jack Teague.
Oh.
Yeah. One night, lying in bed, Amanda felt a presence. It was the spirit of Jack Teague, a Haitian sailor who was executed for piracy in the 1700s. Okay, credit to her for being, you know, progressive enough to be looking beyond her race when it comes to pirate lovers. After the encounter, Amanda soon developed, quote, strong, loving feelings for Jack, who she says looks a lot like Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow. Oh, maybe he's not so Haitian then. He's dark-skinned and has jet black hair, so he tells me. Well, we're not totally sure about that. But Amanda wasn't just looking for a fling. I told him I wasn't really cool with having casual sex with a spirit. I just wanted to make us a proper commitment to each other. You know, the kind of conversations you tend to have with a ghost. In January, she married in a private ceremony with the help of a shaman and a medium who spoke Jack's vows for him. And she made headlines for her unusual marriage, but told people they should consider marrying ghosts themselves. Quote, there are a lot of people out there who don't know about spiritual relationships, but it could be right for them. I want to get the message out there. Later, she even had a pregnancy scare. But in the end, it just turned out to be menopause. Oh, thank God. I was afraid that this was actually real for a second. Sadly, it seems the whirlwind romance has come to an end. According to the Irish Mirror, Teague posted about the end of her marriage on social media. Quote, so I feel it's time to let everyone know that my marriage is over. Who's everyone? How many friends does she have that she married a ghost?
I love to know what that conversation sounded like. Honey, I think I'm late.
Yeah, right?
Oh, no.
Well, no, it was in French because he's Haitian. Oh, no.
Oh, no, God.
This will never do. Anyway, so yes, after such a gripping love story, people wondered what could have broken the couple apart. Any thoughts?
Oh, man, I wish I had that Unchained Melody song to play right now.
Right? Is ghostly infidelity one of the, reasons for divorce?
I want to say that this is my third ChipChat that I've been
and
on.
the second
this
one
is
involving
the second
ghost love.
Story involving a woman having sex with a ghost.
Yeah. It just sort of seems to keep happening.
Well, I mean, it certainly gives me a little bit of hope for the afterlife.
Yes. And for all of those guys at the NRA convention now that Maria Butina is going to jail.
That's right. There's still hope, gentlemen.
They can get a ghost wife.
There's still hope, gentlemen.
You don't know her. She's a ghost. She's from Canada. She goes to another school. Shut up. She's not my mom. You don't know her. Yeah, it'll be great. Okay, and now we've come to Florida or not. You want to do Florida or not?
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay,
Let's see.
Here we go. So, all right. So, one of the most popular death metal guitarists in the country has been arrested after a Northdale home caught fire. So that's a clue, Northdale.
Yep.
So a Northdale home caught fire with exploding ammunition inside. So this was not just an ordinary fire.
No.
All right, so we have a couple of things already in this first sentence. So we have one of the most popular death metal guitarists in the country.
Yep.
I can't say I'm up on my death metal guitars. Trump, you?
Got to be Kansas.
No. And we have exploding ammunition inside a burning house. So
that sounds like
this
Texas.
is off to a good start.
Yeah.
The massive fire broke out on Monday at a home on a Northwood Drive near Roseberry Lane. We're just dropping hints all over the place.
Yeah, get your Google out
Deputies say
on your iPhone.
Pat O'Brien, who is a death metal guitarist, was the person who lives in the home. The firefighters that were on the scene were there. They were able to get the fire under control after about an hour, but struggled with the ammunition piece of the whole thing.
Yeah,
so
right.
The ammunition exploding inside due to the flames caused a little bit of complications for the firefighters who were on site. Quote, "It was crazy. It was crazy. It was like the end of a fireworks display. Really crazy. Pop, 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 pop. That loud bang. One more time. It was crazy." Crews remained at the scene throughout the night, just in case more explosions and such. And they kept the road blocked off long after the fire was put out and the show was over. And a quote, an across the street neighbor who knows him and said he has a flamethrower or something, and he practices with it. I don't know if it was purposely or stupidity or what. So the neighbors seem very confused and potentially just grabbing at straws as to what possibly happened here.
I mean, the flamethrower is a pretty good clue.
Around the same time,
At least he practices with it.
Around the same time, the house caught fire. The sheriff's office got a call about a burglary in progress right near the home. So this potentially wasn't even the homeowner who caused the problem. An arrest report shows O'Brien, who is the homeowner, correct? Yes, O'Brien went in the house without permission and ignored orders from the family to leave. A sheriff's office supervisor says O'Brien pushed a woman down inside the house, then went into the backyard. Deputies responded to the burglary, found O'Brien hiding behind a fence near the home. They say O'Brien charged at them with a knife, and then deputies used the taser to take him down.
Okay. So here's the question. Where did this happen? There's a lot of clues.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, aside from the street names and stuff. Death metal, ammunition, flamethrowers.
Yeah.
This could be Florida. It could be Texas, or it could be, I don't know, Vermont.
Right. It
or
could be.
someplace.
Here's the thing, though. If it was one or maybe two of those things, I would say there are other states in play here.
Right.
But because it's a combination of all of this craziness.
Death metal, flamethrower, and ammo fire.
Yeah. I'm going with Florida on this one.
Gotta be Florida. It is, in fact, Florida. It's somewhere near Tampa. Northdale, which is somewhere near Tampa, and Hillsborough County. There you go. How do you like that, Florida? You actually made it into your own segment this week.
And just one more thing. One of the most popular death metal guitarists, Pat O'Brien, do we know him?
The guy from, what you call it, Inside Hollywood or whatever? Yeah. This is a different O'Brien. Pat O'Brien. I don't know. Did you know Pat O'Brien?
I did not.
He's been arrested. The judge set his bond at $50,000, and he has to complete a drug test before he's able to bond out. I'm gonna bet he fails. He's a lead guitarist for the death metal band Cannibal Corpse. Oh, well, you know
okay,
them.
Sure. They were in Ace Ventura.
Yeah, there you go. The band announced Monday. No, I didn't. That they would be part of an upcoming leg of Slayer's farewell tour. So they are kind of popular.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, as death metal goes, I have actually heard them.
Yeah, well, that's pretty
somebody
impressive.
fact checked me on that. I believe they were the death metal band playing in the New England clam chowder scene.
Of
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura.
Yes, that's right.
If that turns out to be right, we will. You can tweet about it on your new Twitter.
That's right.
And that will be an amazing poll.
At Amazing Mr. Fish.
At Amazing Mr. Fish.
On the Twitter.
On the Twitter. All right, so you hear the music coming up, which means that we've come to the end of the show, and I'm sure everybody here is very sad about that.
But before we go, I got to call you out on one thing.
Okay.
You posted something on Facebook.
Yes,
yesterday
I do that a lot.
about making fun of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
Who won the Super Bowl last year.
Yes.
And you are Washington Redskins.
Yes.
And this is the difference between Redskins fans and Jets fans.
Okay.
We-
Jets fans are hopeless and know they have no chance.
And we don't say shit to anybody.
And we frequently pretend that
There's
we have
like
a chance every year.
Republican level of self-unawareness
Yes.
with the Redskins
Yes.
fan base.
Yes. That's called devotion and loyalty. You should try some.
It's called America.
Yeah. Hey, we've won a Super Bowl, at least a couple of them in my lifetime. The Jets haven't in yours.
Hey, what do you think? This is my whole point.
Not
I'm not going
since
to say
Broadway
anything
Joe.
back to you.
Yeah,
I know.
that's fine.
We
No,
suck.
you guys know. You just take your doormat status and go.
You know what?
We're
I found
developing
myself as with my bleeding heart rooting for Mark Sanchez the past couple weeks.
Just because he used to be a
Just
Jet.
because because he used to represent hope.
Used to represent hope. Then he fumbled it with his butt. All right. So anyway.
I did start the Giants defense in fantasy though this past week.
Yeah, that's good.
a
It
good
probably
play.
went well for you. All right. Thanks to Rock Martin and the folks at Sweetwater. Thanks to Fish for being great. And thanks to NOTN for keeping us on for another week as far as we know. Thanks to the folks at iHeart, iTunes, Stitcher, Deezer, Spreaker, all of that stuff. Special shout out to our friends over at CoPlay Media and DC Radio, WHUR. And thanks as always to our family here at Ripped Radio for making us sound as smooth as Michael Cohen's plea agreement.
Yes.
Yes. All right, Fish, where can they catch you on the social medias?
I am now at Amazing Mr. Fish, FISCH, with that German spelling in
Yeah.
there. My cover band, The Midnight Animals, will be at Light Horse next Thursday.
I got in a fight there
Instead,
fairly recently.
A fist fight?
No, it wasn't. Didn't come to that.
Okay,
but
thank
I'll
God.
tell you about it later.
Well, instead of being here next Thursday night, I
That's
will be
right.
there.
We'll be busy making music with your stuff that you bought from Sweetwater.
So come, yes, that's right.
Yeah,
come,
you see
come
how it
hang.
all comes together. I'll probably come and join you. All right, and you can find me on the Twitter at Chef Chip, unless you're Corey Stewart, in which case you can find me and go fuck yourself for blocking me. That's hilarious. And then you can find me on the Facebooks or whatever, but you can find the show on Facebook at facebook.com/RipChipChat. You can find us on Instagram at ChipChatRR or RipChipChat, and you can find us on Twitter at ChipChatRR. And you can find us most Thursday nights, except not the next 3 Thursday nights, here on Rip Radio Network. I'm Chip. That's Fish. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Ripped Radio Network.
Happy holidays.